Hi, this is another video in the series that I'm making for people who have never been camping before, never been solo camping. If you've watched my video about my trip to the West Angeles Forest, my solo 3-day, 2-night West Angeles trip, it was the first time I'd ever been camping at all, especially overnight, especially solo. And some friends of mine and family have asked me questions about that trip because they were really interested. They've never been camping either, never been out there at all, and so they had questions. And so one of the questions they had that I want to try and answer today is, how do you even set up a tent? What goes into that? And so I decided that I would show you how I set up mine. Now, my tent is the Coleman Sundome 2-person tent. Very basic tent, nothing flashy about it. Now, from what I can, again, I'm not an expert at all camper. I've only gone one time, so I should not be considered an expert. But from everything I've seen on YouTube, there may be some differences, slight differences here and there about how to set up different tents, but from what I can understand, pretty much the principles are all the same. And so that's really what I'm going to be showing you today, is the principles and how I set up this particular tent. Everything else should be the same or close to it, I think. Now, as far as what you get with this tent, the first thing you get is the carry bag itself. So this way you can carry everything, store everything away, and it just carries the tent. Now, when I open this up, what you get inside is you're going to see the bag that carries the tent poles. Now, I didn't carry this inside the bag, it's the carry bag, because without carrying it, I was able to crunch this down a lot smaller, so you can see it's a lot shorter and it could fit in my backpack a lot better. And I would put this on a side pocket of my backpack, so that made it easier to carry there. So that was there. And then you've also got the tent itself. This is how it rolls up, and I've got these this paracord to tie it together so it doesn't unroll. I can shrink it down, pack it down a little bit better. Inside of here, and you'll see it once I unroll it, is are my tent pegs, my tent fly, and another piece of material. I have no idea what it's for. You'll see it when I unroll it. And if any of you out there knows what that piece of material is for, if you can shoot me a comment and let me know, I'd appreciate it, because I could never figure out what it was for. But anyway, I'll show you that. One other thing that was a part of this too, which isn't part of the tent, but you really should have, is a tarp. Now, the tarp doesn't go on top of the tent. The tarp is actually for going on the bottom of the tent. I got this at the 99-cent store, actually, for $1. I think it was $1.99, and you could probably pick it up anywhere. But this is the tarp that I use. And the reason why I use it is you want to put it down on the ground before you put the tent up, so that way if the tent's on any type of rocks or sticks or anything like that, this gives protection against that so that it doesn't puncture your tent. So it's very handy to have this, and this will be part of what I'll show today, how I set it up. And one other thing too about the carry bag. Now, the carry bag isn't just for carrying the tent. There's also this label sewn inside, and I'll try and show it here. This also carries the instructions for setting up the tent. So that way, if you got the carry bag with you, because this is already sewn into the tent, you've got the instructions for setting up your tent. So you don't have to wing it on your own. You've got the instructions. Okay, so like I said, I'm not an expert at this, but I'm going to show you how I set up my tent. And like I said, it's the same principle as far as I saw in all the YouTube videos that I saw. So first thing you want to do is you want to take your tarp and put it on the ground where your tent's going to be, to cover and give you the protection that you need. Now, before you put the tarp down, you do need to clear the area out first. You want to, I kicked out any sticks, gravel, leaves, rocks that were on the ground they wanted to do, and I smoothed it out, and then I put the tarp down. I mean, it makes no sense to have all the rocks and sticks there when you put the tarp down, because they may puncture the tarp as well if you have too many. So you want to clear out. This is just to give that extra level of protection. Then after that, you want to get your tent. Now, let me get this untied here. So then you take your tent and you just unroll it. Now, this is the piece of material that I said I have no idea what this is for. I have no idea what it's for. I don't know what it's used for. So if anybody out there knows, if you can shoot me a note in the comments saying what this is and what it does, I'd appreciate it, because I couldn't figure it out. So it didn't become part of anything. Now, these are your tent stakes. The tent stakes are for securing your tent down so it doesn't get blown away in the wind or anything like that. Now, it never was windy out there, so I never used these. I tried using them once when I was at the West Fork camp, but the ground was kind of hard, and it really did. I was able to get them in, but they didn't hold that well, so I just bailed on it and didn't use them at all. These are the tent stakes. I won't be using those here because you can see the ground is concrete, so there's no point in doing that. This is my tent fly, and I'll explain what the tent fly is when I get ready to put it up, and you'll see it better that way when I explain it then. That's the tent fly, and this is the tent itself. As you can see, the tent is longer than the tarp, but that's okay because I was able to basically get most of the tent floor covered, well, protected by the tarp, and the parts that weren't, it wasn't that much, so it's okay. You can obviously buy a bigger tarp, and I might do that the next time. But this is the tent and the tarp. So then basically the next step, all you do is you just basically unfold the tent. Once you unfold the tent, you can tell where the tent door is. The tent door happens to be, in this case, to the side I want it to be on. It has to be facing this way, but if it were facing that way, then I would just turn it around to the direction I want it to, but it's facing this way, which is good. So that's that. The next thing you want are your tent poles. Now, your tent poles, there are two sizes for the tent poles. Okay. These bands that are on here did not come with the tent poles. I put those there so I could know how to separate them. But as you can see, you've got this, which is just a set of 3, and this, which you'll see, this is for the tent fly. So I'm not going to use this right now. I'm going to put it to the side. These are for the tent itself, and you've got 2 tent poles here. Now it looks like there is more than 2, but there's only 2. Let me separate them out here. And they fold and they fit into each other. So let me demonstrate one of them. Basically, they unfold like this, and they go, and the ends have these little band here, and which is elastic, and it slips into the slot here. So you do it like that. And you just do it all the way down, like this. Until you've got this one long pole. I'll do it this way so you can see it a little better. So you can kind of see how it extends there. And so you've got that one set up. And then you do the same thing with this one. Just stick the ends into the metal slots. It goes right in. And you can do this pretty quickly. It's not hard to do at all. So you got your tent pole set up. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take the tent. On the top of the tent, it has this little X here. And this X are actually sleeves for the tent poles. And you slide the tent poles in. So you go in like that. Through, comes out the other end of the X. Okay. And I'll just lay that one there. And then you'll do the same thing with the other tent pole through the other side of the X. corners of the tent, you've got these little straps here that have these rings and this little hook here. And what you do with the hook is you take the very end of the tent pole and you slide it onto the hook like that. And you do the same. Well, I found it easier to do one pole at a time, and so you may find it that way too. So I'll put that on, but I won't put this one on just yet. So what you do is you go to the other end of the tent pole, which goes to the other corner of the X, and you'll bend the tent up like so. And the tent poles are flexible, so this won't break or anything. And you slide that end of the tent pole onto the other hook. So you've got that. Since I'm over here, now you go to the other pole, the second pole, and you just do the same thing. Slide the end onto the hook, like so. And you go to the other side and do the exact same thing. Alright, so there you go. So now it's not set up yet, but that's the beginning. So then what you have is on each side of the tent, underneath the tent pole, you got a plastic hook here that attaches to the tent. And so you anchor that to the pole like so, and that way it gives it a little bit more stability. So you do that on all four poles, all four sides. Okay, so now this is the way the tent looks so far, but I'm not finished, because one thing is, you see, if you come over here, you can see that the sides of the tent here have a mesh here, and then in the back there's a mesh here. It's a little window, it zips up, but if you unzip it, it will be an open mesh that you can see into the tent with. And then also over here, it also has a mesh. And then here in the tent door, there's also a mesh window that if I unzipped, you would see the mesh as well. Now, this mesh is for ventilation, so that way you don't suffocate in the tent on a hot day. You get some air, you get some ventilation. The problem is, though, with this mesh, not only does it provide ventilation, but if it rains, it also provides a way for the rain to come in and drench you as well, which is not a good thing, and which you don't want. Now, the way that tents prevent the rain from coming into you while still maintaining the ventilation is with the use of a tent fly. And I'll show you, and I'll set that up now so you can see exactly what that does. Now for the tent fly, you got your tent fly pole, and you got your tent fly. Now, the way you're going to do this, the way that I found it easier, was to first go ahead and get your tent fly pole set up. Same way as the tent pole, except much shorter. As you can see, there's only 3 segments to this. So you've got that. Now, with the tent fly, it opens like this. Lining the tent fly are these 2 Velcro straps here. The Velcro straps come undone so that you can slide the tent pole into it and then fasten this back over the tent pole. But what I found was much easier was not to undo the straps, but to leave the straps exactly the way they were, and just simply take the tent fly pole and just slide them through like this. That way you don't waste time, you don't lose time unstrapping and strapping. They're already strapped, just slide them through. And then you come to the end of the tent fly, and you take this end of the tent pole, or the tent fly pole, and what the tent fly pole here is a little bit different than the tent poles. The tent poles on the ends have metal so they can slide onto the metal hook. This is a little plastic cap on the end, and you take the cap and there's a little slot here on the tent fly. I'll get a little bit closer so you can see. And you just take this and you slide it into that slot like that, okay? And then on the other end of the tent fly, there's a similar slot right here, and you just take the other end of that, and you just bend the pole back. It won't break, so you can do this, and just slide it into there. So now you've got it set up, and it's sort of like a like a big kite when you get it set up like that. And then what you do is you take the front end, and the front end for me is where the blue part is. Away from the pole, to the wings basically, you've got a couple things. You've got these straps here, and you've got another Velcro strap here. Now the Velcro strap is going to strap onto the tent poles to secure it. This will hook onto the rings at the corners of the tent where you slid the tent poles onto, and I'll show you that. So it goes like this, and then I found it easier to do this kind of crisscross fashion. So you take the hook on the end of the strap, and you take it and you hook it onto the rings here at the bottom, and then you can also underneath unstrap the Velcro. You can do this blind, you don't need to see, and then hook it around the pole and strap it back. So you can see right here. Well, let me do it again so you can see it with the camera. So I take the Velcro, wrap it around the pole, wrap this, and then just secure the Velcro like that. And then what I do is I don't go to the other side here. I don't go to this side to do it. I go here to do it, to the back, to the opposite corner. And this is just really to help secure, because if I did it on that side, if the wind blew, then it would blow over to that side. And so I don't want to do that. So I want to do this, so that way if the wind blows this way, this side is going to anchor it down because I'm holding it already. And if it blows that way, that side's anchoring it down. So I just go ahead and secure the hook like I did before. Do the Velcro like I did before. And then I just do the other two sides like I did. So again, take this, strap it there, take this, hook it there, then go to the last side. And there you go. So now the tent flies on. So now the circulation can keep going, so you don't suffocate, and it's protected from the rain. I'll give you a walkthrough so you can see it. So this is a walkthrough of the tent with the tent fly on, so you can see it from all sides. So you can see that again, it's protecting the ventilation, but underneath is not covering the ventilation, so the ventilation is still free to breathe. Same thing on the back side here, as you can see. Oops. Same thing here on this side. Again, free to breathe, keeps the rain off. So basically it acts like a giant umbrella for the tent, is what the tent fly does. So there you go. That's the tent and the tent fly. Now, one other thing I need to show you for this as well. The tent fly has these cords hanging off on either side. This is for securing more tent stakes down, so that way you can secure this as well as the tent. But again, like I said, I didn't use the tent stakes, so I never used these. And so that's the way you set up a tent. I really hope you found that helpful, and I hope that it'll help your camping adventure to be really nice and really fun, knowing what to do and how to set up a tent. And again, I can't encourage you enough. Get out there, have fun, enjoy it. It's safe, it's enjoyable, you'll love it.